Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to the Oracle of the Light channel. My name is SP Psychic Medium. I hope you're all keeping well today. As usual, all the readings on this show are for entertainment purposes only, as you know. And yeah, welcome to the channel, everybody. So straight onto the thing. So the G7 summit is happening at the moment. It started on the 15th of June, and I think it's running to the 17th of June. But it's a big thing going on in Canada at the moment. And of course, the interesting thing is that about this summit is that Donald Trump is going along. Of course, Trump's been going on about Canada becoming the 51st state of America or whatever it was. And he still continues to go on about it. So, of course, many Canadians don't want him even to turn up. And also, as well, it must remember that Trump is, of course, allegedly a Russian asset too. So that in the mix too. So there's always been rumors already whether some of the leaders are going to be including him in all of the talks for security reasons. I would have thought there's been these rumors around. Of course, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. But that's why I'm doing this reading, to shine some light and get some insight, just to go through who is at the talks then. So the G7 is if in case you don't know what it is, the G7 is where leaders come together and there's the leaders of Italy, the US, France, Germany, UK, and Japan, and it's taking place in Canaan. I'm not good at pronouncing that. Canaan Assis, I think it's called, in Alberta, in Canada. And as I say, it's the focus of it is to streamline priorities focused around the global economy and security. Of course, currently, Trump right now is a huge security risk. So this is the unusual thing. Normally, the US has obviously been involved at a big scale in this, but in the past, Trump wasn't the president. So the landscape, you could say, has changed quite dramatically, which is why, of course, they need to take care of their security. And so there's that behind it. And also, as well, Mark Carney's carefully planned the agenda has also been upended with the Israel and Iran conflict going on as well. So there's lots of different things going on in this summit. They are going to be tackling, from what I can see, the Iran issue is going to be dominating the summit. And also, I should say as well, I'm referring to an article by the BBC here. I'll put a link to the article about the G7 summit in the description. But also, mentioned in this article is the Trump factor. It is taking place amid a trade war that's happening right now with Trump. And so what is Trump going to be going along with? Already there's noises of him saying he's going along making deals. But I think Trump doesn't really know what trade deals truly are. This goes far beyond just simply tariffs. But I don't believe he thinks that, actually. I think his world starts and stops at tariffs, I believe, because that's where he earns his money from. When the interest rate goes up and down, he sells and buys and stuff like this, So that's his world in that sense. But nevertheless, no doubt Trump is going to be trying to talk about that, but we'll see. And also, the interesting thing is in 2018, this is Trump's second time as US president in part of this. And I believe the last time he might have walked out. As Trump was being very defiant last time in 2018 when he went on to this, is a very famous picture. You'll see it on the article where Trump's being very defiant, So lots of different things. Also, the forest fires, AI, critical minerals, and of course, Ukraine. Now, the people at this summit, it's important to remember there are members of the summit and there are guests of the summit. So the guests are countries by people that aren't necessarily officially part of that summit, but they are there to input as guests. So the people that are going to be at this summit are Anthony Albanese from Australia. He's as a guest. Antonio Costa and Ursula von der Leyen as the EU G7 members. Claudia Scheinbaum in Mexico as a guest now, and she's previously been very fiery about Trump. So there could be some sparks between them, possibly. Cyril Ramaphosa from South Africa is there, also there as a guest. And also, he's recently had a showdown, I believe, with Trump. In fact, I don't think there's many people Trump hasn't had a showdown with. The cost going to be Donald Trump there as a USA G7 member, Emmanuel Macron for France as a G7 member, and there's going to be Frederick Merz there from Germany as a G7 member. There's going to be Giorgia Meloni from Italy as a G7 member, and Lee Jae-myung as South Korea guest. There's also going to be Sir Keir Starmer there from the UK as a G7 member, and Luis Inácio Lula da Silva from Brazil as a guest, and Mark Carney from Canada as a G7 member, also hosting, and Narendra Modi as in India from a guest, Shigeru Ishiba from Japan as a G7 member, and Vladimir Zelensky, from the Ukraine, also as a guest. And of course, Trump and Zelensky have well, Trump's been very, very rude and out of order towards him, I personally thought. So there's a lot of potential sparks going to be setting alight here, and we'll just see what happens. But that's why I'm doing this reading too, to see what the cards say. Of course, these are all what the cards say right now. Things may always change. And of course, as we know, they are all for entertainment purposes only, as you all know. Okay, so let's see what the cards say. So I'm going to be asking 3 questions. So the first question I'm going to be asking is, how will the summit go? Just as an open-ended, how will this go? Will it be a success? Will it be a failure? Will it come to a crunch and stop? I don't know. And then the second question, will they manage Trump? Because it feels like Trump is certainly going to be needing to be managed with his potential link to Russia and everything like this. With the alleged links he has to Russia, is certainly a potential risk and danger there. So how will they manage that? And then the third question, how will Trump conduct himself? What will he be like? So let's see what the cards say. So I'm going to get 3 cards out for the first question, second and third. So how will the summit go? I'm also going to use the Oracle of the Light Tarot as well. But yeah, let's see what the cards say. Shine a bit of light. So how will the summit go? I should say too, I also use reversed cards as well. So just shuffling up, got a good shuffle. Give it a good old shuffle, everyone. So how will the summit go? Okay, so 3 cards then. How will the summit go? A lovely table. Here we go. So the world upside down, the Hanged Man, and 8 of Swords. Interesting. So how will the summit go? Well, I feel like the world has been turned upside down. So I feel this is reference to the war going on at the moment and Trump as well. In some ways, Trump has turned the summit on its head a little bit, because obviously it was in his previous term, but his like fascist agenda was not so on show. There was no Project 2025. There was no ICE and to the level at all of what's going on right now. There was no birthday parade. There was none of these things which we've seen in this term. So to some degrees, the summit has definitely been turned on its head this time. there's a lot of, I think a lot of the leaders wondering, how are we going to deal with this? And in this, I definitely mean Trump. He's definitely yeah, what would you call it? A thorn in the side is a good way of describing it, if you know what I mean. I also get a sense of people shifting around him. Can you see how that person is shifting around? The bending there and bending sideways a bit. I definitely get this sense of like shifting around, moving around a bit there. Also, yeah, so movement, bending around people, not, and I don't feel this is necessarily bending around them to accommodate them. I think it's more bending around them to like avoid them. I think there's going to be some like almost like bypassing, I could say, almost bypassing, if you know what I mean. So maybe there's some bypassing of Trump going to be happening here, because this is what I feel it's the cards sort of leading me onto, almost like going around it. We'll no, we won't see you. We'll just go past you there. The Hanged Man. Now this is all about not hanging around. Actually, this is a card about saying get going with things, and I feel there is an urgency to the summit, in the sense that if they don't come together almost like as a summit to defeat fascism and this agenda, then there's a lot of things at risk here, and I think that this card is all about saying you mustn't hang around. We have to get ourselves together here. Let's get this together. I don't swear, but you can imagine what phrase you would say instead of that. You need to get the stuff together. Because there is potential suffering around everywhere. And I think this represents the war going on. This also represents the damage that Trump is doing with his tariffs. I believe Trump simply wants to go in and try and dabble a bit more in the tariff percentages, really. He might try and bend someone's arm into almost like getting something out of somebody if he only reduce the tariff. That's what I feel. He's going to try and get something out of some country. And this may even be countries that aren't official members here. Don't forget there are guests at this event from other countries. And it might be one of those that he tries to sort of bend their arm to almost say, well, come on, give me your minerals and I'll give you this. It could be even Zelensky he tries that with again. There could be something going on there possibly. But I am really drawn to the man there from, let me just look at this a minute. I'm very drawn to Cyril Ramaphosa. I don't know whether there's going to be something between Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa going on, but I'm very drawn to him and Trump for some reason. So I need to give you that. There may be something that goes on, or that they discuss, or there's some changing arrangement somewhere. Yeah, it's just interesting. I'm really drawn to those two. Let's see, watch this space, So how will the summit go? I think it'll go okay, but I think people almost have it's not a straightforward summit in that sense. I think it's this third card is the most telling thing, that they're very close to danger, if you like. Trump is this danger, that it's like this elephant in the room of this massive danger there, and they are very close to speaking to him. It's like is this so close to this potential huge threat, and I think that's why more than ever this summit really has to be managed more than ever, because it feels like not everyone at that summit is on the same page, and that's the trouble, It's turned it on its head. As I say, the world's been turned on its head, So let me get, I want a clarifying card out as to how will the summit go. I'm going to get this from the Oracle of the Light. So how will the summit go then, please? Of course, some of this we're likely to only see after the summit's happened, when they report on things, what went on. But it will be interesting to see what happens afterwards. So how will the summit go then? So I have an upside down card, and all will be revealed upside down. So the fact it's upside down, I think some of this will be revealed straight away. the fact that this card is upside down, but also more will be revealed later. It's interesting. I was actually saying, just as I picked this card up, that actually some of the news about this will happen after the event. And then we get this card out. Interesting. So I feel so we're going to get some news very fast, but other stuff we're going to need to almost like wait on that, So yeah. So to summarize this first question, and yeah, it's like the summit's been turned on its head, the world's been turned on its head, but they can't hang around. They have to get going with things soon, because they're very close to danger more than ever, So that's the first question. And of course, all will be revealed. Some of that will be revealed straight away. Something we'll have to wait a little bit more. The next question, will they manage Trump? Will they manage him? Will they deal with him in the right way and make sure that no important secrets are security breaches almost a given if you're not careful, as they say, he's a huge danger to a lot of countries, so how will they manage Trump? Let's just get this. So the Two of Cups, the Magician upside down, and the Star. So I think Trump's going to be really bullshit. I think he's going to be it's going to be like a bad relationship, I think there's going to be like a bad relationship. This is the Two of Cups upside down. So there's going to be not a lot of love. The cups represent love, but when it's upside down, it can mean the opposite to that. So there's not a lot of love being shown to Trump or from Trump, I feel, it's a dysfunctional relationship. And then this is coming back to the sense of Trump being on a different page than everyone else, He wants to be a dictator, and so, but everyone else wants to have a democracy and everything like this. So there's this juxtaposition going of being on the wrong page. Now the Magician upside down, I think this is actually a good card in the sense of, now Magician is someone who just try and lie and tries and pulls the wool over your eyes and trick you, but they know that. They can see him for what he is, and this is why this card is upside down. He's going to try and pull some tricks, but they're already going to be there with it. They're already going to be like expecting it, if you like. So I think this is a good card in the sense of they're aware who they're dealing with here. They're dealing with a trickster, and they have to be very careful how they handle this person, because they'll try and pull the wool over their eyes in that sense, And the Star, things are quite dark at the moment. There's the war going on, and there's the trade war going on too. All this card is about remembering where the light is, remembering the light of democracy, remembering what the focus of the summit is, remembering all of that focus is really, really key here, and this is remembering this person's like feeding that flamingo, and it's always remembering that like kindness and love at the heart of everything should be there. And it might sound a bit airy-fairy, but really that is in essence about how we should be treating countries. We should be treating countries with respect. If there's a country illegally invading another country, then that's wrong, and it needs to be called out for that. And I think that's what that card is about, In terms of a clarifying card, let's just see what the Oracle of the Light says. Will they manage Trump? What does the Oracle of the Light say? Just giving them a shuffle. So, look at that again. So the Oracle of the Light clarifying card is the unwritten story. So will they manage Trump? I feel this is a card that they will. But interestingly, I think I was talking about them being on the same page, and I don't think Trump ever will be on the same page, but they're going to keep their page clean and away from the debris of Trump, if you like. So I do get a sense of them creating a separation between him and them for the safety of the countries in the summit, actually, not just simply for the sake of it. It's all down to national security, to the potential danger and threat, international security. Yeah. So they're definitely on different pages, but they know it and they're aware of it, and they're going to control. So going back to the very first, so the summary, it's dysfunctional relationship. They know who they're dealing with, a trickster. They need to watch him very, very carefully, but then they're aware of that and remembering their main intentions for this summit in the first place, which is to promote peace, stability, and good trade and everything between all the different countries and stuff like that. Okay. So the last question then, how will Trump conduct himself? Let's see what the cards say. Very interesting reading so far. If you are enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe now, everybody. I do appreciate it. And put a thumb up. And if you even ding that bell so you get all the notifications, do appreciate it. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, so do help me out there and subscribe. So, how will Trump conduct himself? What will the cards say? Well, let's see. Let's see. Just give him a good old shuffle. Okay, there we go. How will Trump conduct himself? The Five of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Devil. Wow. It's incredible how many times the Devil comes out for Trump. It really is. It's really amazing. So, the Five of Wands. So, like a battle. He's going to be conducting this like a battle. He's going to go, I think he's going to come into it way too heavy-handed, I think, actually. When I get this card, I feel he's going to swing into it way beyond the rest he needs to. He should just be discussing it with people, but I don't think he will. I think he'll swing into it, and people will be almost like in the room. They're saying, could we talk? Can we talk? We don't need to shout. Can we? I really get that sense of like almost wanting to create arguments when there are arguments even there. Really, yeah, just, yeah. And then the Nine of Pentacles. How will Trump conduct himself? Just thinking about him. He's purely thinking about him the whole time. And not even America when I'm saying him. I don't feel he's even thinking about America when he's going to this. He's thinking about him. How can he get any potential deals? Okay, is there anything he can potentially profit off? I really just get a sense of him thinking just about him. America isn't on the cards for him, just his own profit and gain. And how will Trump conduct himself? Like the devil. There you go. Like the devil. He wants as much as he possibly can. The devil is a card of excess. It's a card of greed. It's a card of give me that, you know. And so how will he conduct himself? Very selfishly, very arrogantly, very rudely, and very unacceptable, quite frankly. Very completely in an unacceptable manner. And I think it will test people's patience. I think people will be like going, enough is enough. I just feel him conducting himself in not a good manner at all, and so let's just get a clarifying card for this. Okay, so how will Trump conduct himself? Heavenly connections. So he's going to be looking for connections for him. This is what this is about. He's going to be trying to get connections that he can grift off in the future. He's going to try and as I said earlier, it came out in the reading about him potentially going, well, I could take your tariff down if we can do such and such. Well, if you give me this, then I might be able to do this. And that's not what it's about. That isn't a trade deal. But he's only going to be thinking about his own purse in his own pocket, So to summarize, how will Trump conduct himself? He'll go into it like a battle, way too heavy-handedly, completely, almost inappropriately, making arguments where there aren't them. I think also as well, he's just thinking about him, his own little universe. and he'll be behaving like a devil, like a naughty schoolboy, spoiled, greedy, and self-centered. Just thinking about his own connections, how can he profit? Also, you notice this card is number one. Trump is only going to be thinking about number one, and that doesn't even include the United States, I believe. Okay, it's appalling. It's appalling conduct. It's absolutely appalling what he's doing. But yeah, the cards say, as I say, they give us what we need, not what we want, and that's what the cards have said here. So listen, everybody, that brings us to the end of the reading. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please just subscribe and don't forget to ding that bell as well, and get notifications. Listen, thank you, everyone. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the reading. With lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light, I will see you really, really soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.